learning about issues that affect our oceans. Be speaking with Competent Communicator Manual, Speech 7, Speaking to Inform. Please help me welcome Communicator Gold, Advanced Leader Bronze, with his speech titled, Waste Not, Want Not. Mr. Jeff Landau.
No dumping, drains to ocean. Have you seen that decal on a curb, sidewalk, or a street?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Now, I'm going to give a test, and don't worry, it's multiple choice. Raise your hand if you know what this is. Now, how many of you, in this drawing, how many of you think that this is a sewer? Okay, we have a tree, sidewalk, this is a street, little opening over here. Kathy, you look perplexed. How many of you think that that's a sewer? Okay, we have a couple. How many of you think that's called a catch basin? How many of you think that that is called a storm drain? And how many of you wouldn't raise your hand no matter what question that I asked? Couple, okay.
Now that I know all the choices, I'll raise my hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you said it was multiple
I was
choice,
waiting for my
one by
choice.
one.
The answer is that that is called a storm drain or a catch basin. This morning I'll share with you the difference between our sewer systems, our storm drain systems, different sources of pollution in our neighborhoods, and what we can do to improve the health of our environment and our oceans. Our sewer system is a network of pipes, and that takes our trash and our discharge from our homes, such as that's found in our bathrooms, our sinks, showers, laundry rooms, kitchen sinks. It orderly takes it away from our house and puts it into the sewer system. And some businesses have permits to put their waste into the sewer system as well. So the sewer system goes into a pipe system, and they get bigger and bigger pipes to carry more and more trash, and they become less and less and bigger. And finally, they reach one of 4 wastewater treatment facilities in the area. There's a pretty complicated process of how the waste is processed, and there are a couple of different resultants from that treatment. One is a sludge, and that can sometimes be sold. There are gases that can be recaptured, and the liquid that doesn't get recaptured is called an effluent. Effluent, yes. Now that effluent from the 4 different treatment facilities go down into one big pipe. And that pipe goes out into the ocean 5 miles. It's about 190 feet deep. And that effluent is not to be confused with health food. It's not going to get bottled and sold at a store. It's put out into the ocean 5 miles out and 190 feet deep with the intent that that doesn't come back on shore. Not the best quality, but it is treated. That's what our sewer system is. Now, our stormwater system is a completely different network of pipes. That was created in the 1930s by the Army Corps of Engineers in order to help with any heavy rainfalls because of the development of our area, and we had streets and highways and curbs and driveways and less porous areas for the water to get absorbed back into the earth. So we had to have a way to avoid flooding whenever it rained too much. So what happens in that picture where we have that storm drain? Before we talk about that network, what goes in there? Well, what's ever on our street? It could be trash and cigarette butts, plastics. We have fertilizers and herbicides and pesticides from our lawns, motor oil that drips on the streets or anything else that drips from our cars. When we wash our cars on our driveways, the grime from our cars will go in there, along with any kind of detergent that we're using. That all goes into the storm drain, and tens of millions of gallons of water go through every day. That makes it through another network of pipes. But instead of ending at one of those 4 treatment facilities, they end at what's called an outfall. And we have over 70 in the area. And those outfalls go 5 miles, oh no, I'm sorry. Those outfalls
Right.
sometimes go right on the beach,
Oh, yeah.
or right off the beach, right into the ocean. There's so much bacteria in that water. You can imagine that it's not clean, of course. There's so much bacteria in that the Department of Health recommends not swimming within 100 yards of one of those outfalls. I wouldn't swim that close, but they recommend not being within 100 yards. And do you know how long the Department of Health recommends you not going on the beach after a heavy rain, when more and more of this trash is going into the stormwater system?
A week.
A year.
3 days, that was kind of close, but 3 days. It takes at least 3 days for that to dissipate in the ocean. This is what's going into our oceans every day. Well, there's good news in that we have some influence as to what goes into our storm drains and ultimately into the ocean. Now, I'm reminded of some lyrics from a song from a rock band called Rush. And those lyrics are, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
Right.
Well, we can make a choice of different ways to control what goes into our storm drains. Whether this information is new to you or not, you can share it with your neighbors and friends, maybe even their kids. When washing your car, you can take it to a car wash, because typically they'll reuse their water as opposed to having your water go into the storm drain. If you're sweeping up or want to clean your driveway or sidewalks, you can sweep instead of using a hose and capture that trash and put it into a trash bin as opposed to using a hose and having that go into a storm drain. Or you can request a speaker from an organization such as Heal the Bay to speak to your community organization or a church or temple, and they can go into a little bit more detail. Now, I feel if you choose not to take an action, you're still taking an action. Do you enjoy going to the beach and going to the ocean, Ralph?
Yes.
Do you have children that enjoy the ocean? Do you have grandchildren that enjoy the ocean? If anything that I've said has connected with you, my wish for you is to have the strength and courage to take action. Mr. Joseph.